Ever feel like your Notes app is more like a black hole for information? You stuff everything in there, but then good luck ever finding anything again.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like that feeling when you've got a million tabs open. You know there's good stuff in there somewhere. Just gotta find it.
Right, but what if instead of just hoarding information, we could actually, I don't know, use it more effectively?
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Hit me with it. What's the magic solution this time?
This time, it's Google's NoteBook LM, and it's promising to be more than your average note-taking app.
Okay, I'm intrigued. LM, does that stand for something?
It does. It stands for Language Model, which might sound a little intimidating, but trust me, we'll unpack that.
All right, you've piqued my curiosity. Lay it on me. What is Notebook LM all about? So at its core, it's designed to be a more intelligent way to interact with our notes and documents.
So not just a digital notepad, then.
Definitely not. And a big part of what sets it apart is this idea of like active knowledge engagement. You know how with traditional tools, we're basically just passively storing stuff.
Yeah, just dumping it all in and hoping for the best.
Exactly. But with Notebook LM, they're bringing in the power of AI to actually understand and interact with that information. It's almost like having a built-in research assistant, which sounds amazing.
Hold on, back up a second. Did you say AI is actually understanding my notes?
That's the idea. It's using something called natural language processing, or NLP, to actually make sense of what's in your documents.
So it's not just matching keywords or anything like that. It's actually reading and
Oh,
comprehending like a person would.
that's the goal, yeah. So instead of just storing your notes, it can actually help you get insights from them.
Okay, color me impressed. That sounds like a game changer, especially for things like, oh, I don't know, massive market research reports.
Oh, I hear you. Imagine this. Instead of spending hours poring over those reports, you upload it to Notebook LM and you just ask it something like, hey, what are the key takeaways here?
And then boom, it spits out a summary.
It can, yeah. Or you could even ask for something super specific like, what were the main reasons for customer churn last quarter? And it would pull out that exact information.
Okay, now you're just making me wish I had this like yesterday. No more endless scrolling for me. But how does it actually pull off this magic trick? You mentioned large language models earlier. That still sounds a bit like science fiction to me.
So LLMs are basically the brains behind all of this. Think of it this way. They're like the engine of a car. They've been trained on this massive amount of data, which is how they learn to understand and generate text that sounds like, well, us.
So like they've read basically the entire internet or something.
Pretty much. And that's how they're able to get so good at things like summarizing information, answering questions in a comprehensive way, even generating different creative text formats.
So it's like having Bard, but it's trained on all my stuff. Now that you mention it, does it work with my other Google apps? Like what about Drive? I've got a bit of a Google Drive hoarding problem.
Well, good news for you and your Drive, my friend, because integration is seamless. It works directly within Google Workspace. So you can pull in existing documents from docs, sheets, even those messy handwritten notes you might have.
Wait, really? It can handle my handwriting.
Let's maybe not get too excited. It's still in development, but they are working on making it even better at understanding handwritten stuff. But even better, since everything lives in the cloud, you've got that anytime, anywhere access we crave these days.
Music to my ears. No more emailing files to myself or dealing with different versions. And I don't know about you, but I feel like half the battle is just trying to remember where I saved something in the first place.
Right. It's like my digital brain is scattered across a million different folders. But here's where it gets even cooler and maybe a tiny bit creepy. This AI can actually start to learn your preferences and style over time.
Wait, what does that even mean? It's like it's reading my mind now.
Not quite mind reading, but the more you use it, the better it gets at, like anticipating your needs. It's like how, say, a streaming service recommends shows based on your watch history. But in this case, it's tailoring your information experience. So, for example, if you tend to favor bullet points over paragraphs, it might start presenting information to you that way.
That's both incredibly cool and kind of freaking me out at the same time. But this all sounds pretty high-tech. If I'm being honest, I'm not exactly the most tech-savvy person out there. Who's the target audience for this? Is it just for, like, coders and AI enthusiasts?
Definitely not. It's really for anyone who feels overwhelmed by information, which, let's be real, is probably most of us these days.
True that. So, like, if I'm a student drowning in research papers or a professional trying to stay on top of industry trends, this could be a game changer.
Absolutely. And it doesn't stop there. Think about writers or journalists who are constantly sifting through interview transcripts, or even just someone like me who's trying to keep up with an ever-growing reading list. There's something here for everyone.
Wow, it really does seem like this could fundamentally change how we interact with information. It's not just about collecting anymore. It's about actually using what we know in a more meaningful way.
It makes you think, what if this is just the beginning? What if we could have AI that could synthesize knowledge from all our sources, not just our notes? What kind of world would that unlock?
Now, that's a question I'll be pondering for a while.
If you're as intrigued by the potential of Notebook LM as we are, we encourage you to check it out and see how it can transform your own workflow. Until next time, happy diving.